even with NVIDIA lower. Communication services also rallying. Consumer discretionary, some of your biggest gainers today. Then you take a look at the downside, energy, consumer staples, and healthcare. That ties back to Johnson & Johnson. Healthcare, your biggest loser on the sector level right now, down by about 0.6%, Matt.
All right, so struggling to get anywhere except for the all-time high where we closed yesterday, and actually making another all-time high again today. So these little tiny movements are almost not notable, except for the fact that we've never been here before, right? We're getting closer and closer to
uncharted territory.
60. There you go, uncharted, not unchartered, as a lot of people say. Some people even write unchartered territory, unless you haven't chartered it yet. Coming up, analysts are staying bullish on NVIDIA, despite its not necessarily inspiring forecasts. That's next. This is Bloomberg Open Interest.
Dun 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 dun.
Rodriguez. And I'm Jason Kelly. And we're back with more episodes of our show, The Deal.
The theme of this season, On the Road. We're bringing you more behind-the-scenes conversations with the biggest names in sports, business, and culture, like Melody Hobson.
I started to study women's sports like an 11-year-old studies baseball statistics, and I got dangerous in seeing up arrows.
Susie Wolf.
When you're competing, you're not thinking about any fear or any worries of what could happen.
Josh Harris.
You can't do a good deal with a bad person.
Jay Batt.
At the end of the day, there's never been a better time to be a student athlete.
And more. Stay tuned.
From the beating heart of global finance, economics, and politics, and wherever newsmakers are moving markets, Bloomberg brings you conversations that allow for deep discussions and important insights. What do you think the future is for inflation? Is this a new normal? Are markets too optimistic? How do you worry about the things that are outside your control? How does the current fighting completely stop? I'm Francine Lacroix, and this is The Pulse, every weekday only on Bloomberg.
It's a multi-trillion-dollar industry. We'll show you what's happening in ETFs like no one else. ETF IQ, only on Bloomberg. From the world of politics to the world of business, Joe Matthew and Kaylee Lines deliver news, insight, and analysis live 2 times a day, every trading day. Balance of Power at 1 and 5 Eastern, only on Bloomberg.
It's the countdown to the market open as we bring you the first trades across Europe.
We'll debate the most important stories and what will drive the big investment decisions throughout the morning. I'm Guy Johnson.
I'm Kriti Gupta.
And I'm Anna Edwards. Join us every weekday morning for the opening trade, live at 7 a.m. here in London.
Only on Bloomberg. Context changes everything.
Forum and Joe Kaiser of Mercado.
Welcome back to Open Interest. It's time now for our top calls. Some of the analyst action in focus this morning. And first up, Five Below is getting upgraded to a buy at Telsey after the discount retailer raised its profit outlook. The analyst says its strong business momentum should continue in for the rest of the year and into 2026. Shares up about 3%. Next up, Wall Street weighing in on Kohl's after the retailer raised its outlook and issued better than expected earnings. At least 4 banks have increased their price targets on the stock, and Gordon Haskett basket is raising the company to a buy, saying that management has made progress in its efforts to reconnect with its core customers. Shares down a little bit today, but it had quite a rip-roaring rally yesterday. And finally, analysts at major Wall Street shops are sticking by NVIDIA after the world's most valuable company forecasted decelerating growth. You had at least 10 firms hike their price targets on the stock, including JP Morgan, Citi, and Jefferies. Shares still deciding what to do, Matt, currently down about 0.6%.
All right, so we're going to keep watching that, obviously, keep talking about it throughout the program. Another analyst bullish on NVIDIA's future is Dan Ives of Wedbush. He spoke earlier on Bloomberg Surveillance.
When you look at data center and then you actually factor in what China's going to be when you look at 2 to 5 billion, and you look at the acceleration in the next few quarters, I mean, there's no region that's not accelerating. That's why I believe there's a $5 trillion market cap, either by year end or early 26.
All right, so it's no surprise that Dan Ives is bullish. But he has been right. Let's talk about that with Bloomberg Equities reporter Carmen Reinecke. She joins us here on set. So, Carmen, he's almost always bullish, most tech firms that he covers. But, the trend has been up and to the right. So can you really fight this momentum?
That's a really good point, and I think a lot of Wall Street analysts we're seeing, they agree. They're very bullish on shares of NVIDIA. Katie just said at least 10 analysts increased their price targets today. I was just looking, we have them rolling in as we're talking even. That means the 12-month average is now $205 for NVIDIA shares. That's more than 13% upside. So I think a lot of people are really joining in on the momentum. They see a long-term case here for NVIDIA shares to continue to go up. And even though the earnings report has been a little bit less than people were hoping for, they see it overarchingly as sort of a minor imperfection, a bump in the road, and something that will ultimately be looked at in time.
Just for fun, Dan Ives, he has 44 buy ratings, 6 hold ratings, 0 sell ratings.
Yes, money day, money day, money day.
But to your point, what we're talking about here,
What active?
even though by some measures this was a little
Yes,
bit
Ritesh, how you doing, bro? You good?
we were speaking with
Fix this camera a little bit.
a little while ago, and he made the point.
There we go.
NVIDIA has the luxury of kind of being the only game in town
Okay.
with the moat that they've built, the competitive moat.
Boy, stocks are down,
It's true, and we even were watching a Chinese company yesterday, Cambricon, that reported earnings,
Ooh,
and
a
they
little
saw
short
increased
there.
demand from NVIDIA not being able to sell in China, and they still shouted out NVIDIA, saying that they
Where's
have
this
a clear
heading
advantage.
to?
So you're totally right. They are in
Okay,
a lot of ways the
so
only game
we
in
have
town, and we think
Wednesday's
that there's
low.
still a lot of positive things to come.
We've still got the high
we
intact.
saw, the news today, there was a Fox headline about potentially selling Blackwell into China. That's something people have been really excited about. I think it just shows that this is an
We've
ever-moving
got all this imbalance
situation,
down
right?
here.
Even when we get the earnings snapshot, we hear Jensen speaking. This can change day by day.
Yeah, not everyone's excited about the U.S. selling Blackwell into China, right?
That's true.
It would be a national
Wait, what? The
security
U.S. did
problem, for
what?
one thing. It's illegal right now. And
Wait, selling BlackRock to China. Hold on, let me go back.
Have the clear advantage. So you're totally right. They are in a lot of ways the only game in town, and I think that there's still a lot of positive things to come. We saw the news today. There was a Fox headline about potentially selling Blackwell into China. That's something people have been really excited about. I think it just shows that this is an ever-moving situation, right? Even when we get the earnings snapshot, we hear Jensen
Selling Blackwell into China.
day by day.
Yeah, not everyone's excited about the U.S. selling Blackwell into China, right?
That's true.
It would be a national security problem, for one thing. It's illegal right now, and they would have to pay 15% of their revenues to the U.S. government. That would be great for us, right? For all three of us, I guess.
I
We're
don't
all
think NVIDIA is
U.S.
too psyched
citizens.
about that.
But they don't seem. It feels like they're kind of walking back from that agreement, at least in Ed Ludlow's interview with the CFO. And it's also not clear that the Chinese companies necessarily want to buy chips from NVIDIA, right?
Yeah, it's true. The recommendation from Beijing has been to stay, homegrown, use local chips. But the Blackwell really is, the premier design right now. And so a Blackwell chip in China, analysts are excited about that. Investors are excited about that. And yeah, it remains to be seen.
All right, Carmen, really appreciate the roundup there.
That's insane.
Of Wall Street right now, how they feel about NVIDIA. That is Bloomberg's Carmen Reinecke. I do want to go back to that interview that Ed Ludlow and Ian King had with NVIDIA's CFO. Colette Kress said specifically, We have been communicating. If nothing shows up, I've got licenses. I don't have to do this 15% until I see something that is a true regulatory document. So the CEO is saying pretty much, show me to the government.
Yeah, absolutely. And they seemed very cautious as well about the legality of this situation. Export taxes are historically not allowed. Certainly not encouraged. So, you know, there's a question as to whether or not this will fly if there are court challenges.
Absolutely. She made that point as well. Really great interview. Of course, we'll continue to follow NVIDIA, but we're going to talk about something other than NVIDIA coming up next because Best Buy sales beat estimates and says demand is offsetting the impact from tariffs. Traders wary on that stock today. We'll discuss next. This is Open Interest.
Taking a little sell here on US 30, guys, just to start us off. We're coming down pretty heavy right now. Do I think this is a sustained move? No, but we're gonna see if we are onside or offside. So what do I mean by that? Just a really light position, just to start us off with. My stop is above here, this high. Right. Right now we're coming down with a lot of energy, to be fair. We have the low here, which is 45,430, and then we have the low here, which is what is this? 45,380. Okay. So that's what we're working with right now. Let's just see what we get, because the fact that we've dumped off, it's a little bit surprising to me, but you know, as we've heard, NVIDIA is looking to sell into China, but we'll see how that goes. Obviously, it's just rumors for now. Gold is still rallying, so shout out to Ritesh for taking that buy yesterday. I think your buy was somewhere around here. Really nice buy. We had that pull back down for gold. We tested the daily candle. Right. Remember when I sent you guys a setup? We tested this daily candle, so to push up, it looks pretty much set. The only question is, we are approaching Friday, 8th of August high. Can we actually break out of this nasty range? Because we've been here for quite a while. Do I have an answer for that as of yet? No, I do not, unfortunately, guys.
New episodes every month only on Bloomberg.
Is anyone in any positions right now?
Numbers are released. Bloomberg has the report under surveillance with crucial data and expert analysis.
Dollar looks like it's going to keep coming down as well, so gold buys look really good, to be honest with you.
This is Open Interest. I'm Matt.
I'll be back, guys. Give me a sec.
Which are now turning lower just about 20 minutes into the session. The S&P down 0.1%. The Nasdaq, although unchanged, there's a red arrow there. Small caps are still treading water, but just barely. One of the problems, or the big problem, is NVIDIA. Take a look, down 1.9% now and falling. So NVIDIA, although it had turned positive just before we started trading, is now down almost 2%. And when it's a $4.3 trillion company, that makes a big difference. I mentioned how much I was paying attention to Five Below, and look at that. They're up 4%. Not that it matters. Victoria's Secret up 9% as well, but even those two together aren't enough to outweigh NVIDIA. And then Best Buy is falling, Dick's Sporting Goods as well. We're going to talk about that right now. Katie?
Let's get a little bit more detail on those retailers with Bloomberg Intelligence Senior Retail and Consumer Analyst Lindsay Dutch. And we'll start with Best Buy since we have the bigger move there. So they beat estimates when it comes to demand that they're seeing for gaming, for computers. We know that they're watching tariffs here. How do you rate this company when it comes to how they're actually navigating some of those headwinds?
Hi, Katie. Hi, Matt. Thank you for having me. Yes, tariffs are definitely a headwind here. And I would say Best Buy is doing a great job managing the cost side. I think the really big concern is more on the demand side. So how is the consumer going to react, especially for holiday? Obviously, a very big, point for this type of a retailer. What could those higher prices impact on the holiday season, especially in some of the weaker categories?
So what are the weakest categories? I mean, what are the problems for them?
Exactly. So home theater and appliances are still the two biggest, weakest categories by far for Best Buy. Obviously, we saw strength in the second quarter on gaming. That was aided by Nintendo's Switch 2. We're seeing strength continue in computing and phones, and that's sort of supposed to extend into the third quarter. That big worry bead is really on that entertainment and the appliances, which, if we were to see a drop in interest rates and a pickup in the home market, that certainly would help.
Certainly would help. I think you can say the same across industries too when it comes to interest rates. But talk a little bit more about Dick's. So it did see its sales climb. It raised its outlook as well. You're not necessarily seeing that reaction in the stock right now. We also know that they're closing on Foot Locker next month. I mean, give us a pulse check here. What do you make of Dick's at this point, where they are in their story?
Yeah, so Dick's is sort of a completely different story than Best
Money Day,
Buy.
bro. How you doing? You good?
Best Buy is on the cusp
Yes,
of
you know.
a turnaround, really looking to spur that sales growth turnaround that they've been, missing for the past 3 years. Dick's is completely on the opposite. They're coming off of strong momentum, really strong results for the past couple of years. We saw another beat in the second quarter. I don't think it was tremendously surprising. I think a lot of, investors and analysts thought the guidance was pretty conservative coming into the second quarter. But the bottom line is we saw demand continue to strengthen in the second quarter. Guidance is still implying sort of a back half slowdown. And, we're not really liking that. We think that demand still looks solid. We think that growth can extend, but the guide is telling a different story.
Okay.
What can we say about the Foot Locker
Stock market is
acquisition,
continuing to
whether or not
slide.
it's working?
Right. So Foot Locker, they got their regulatory approvals earlier this week. The deal is expected
I'm gonna see.
to close on
I'm gonna see if we can
September 8th.
get a little
None of
something
that
here,
is
guys.
factored into the guide for the year. I think
It's a bit
Foot
techie.
Locker,
Because here's
will
not a
be
bad
great
area to buy
success.
from.
Dick's has proven that they've been able to turn around their
I'll be
own
honest with you, it's not a
business.
bad
They
area to
really
buy
fuel
from.
very strong demand for their sports assortment, and they've even gone back into brick and
I
mortar
might
distribution, which is a complete shift from the past couple of years when many
I might add a
retailers were
smaller
closing
position to
stores.
this.
Foot Locker is in the early innings of its turnaround, and Dick's really needs to prove that they can do this a second
Garvit.
time with
What you
a
did in here,
retailer
Garvit?
that skews a little bit more to lifestyle and a little bit more to a lower consumer, which is going to be a harder lift in this environment.
Lindsay, thanks very much. Lindsay Dutch joining us there from Bloomberg Intelligence. Coming up in the next hour, we'll talk NVIDIA and the markets with Larry Adam of Raymond James. This is Bloomberg.
Do you know what to tell people about what the tariffs are going to do on the United States economy and investment environment, or is it not clear yet?
If you look at
Okay.
the impact of the
I'm trying
tariffs,
to get a little something to eat whilst being on the stream, guys. Usually, when I'm not on the stream with you guys, I literally just chill, have something to eat, maybe some crisp, watch markets.
of household goods that are imported into this country.
And do you think it's going to
So, excuse me in advance if you hear any crunching noises.
It's going to impact both inflation.
But yeah, right now, let's just wait for this new hour candle to open and then see what we get. Because to be honest, I would like to see this head higher, not actually lower. And we're in pretty decent areas to go long for S&P and for the Nas, to be honest with you. So there isn't anything
and a similar
concrete
amount
as of yet, so we'll
on
just wait and see.
economic growth. So it could put us in a position where we're teetering.
So the tariffs will likely depress the GDP growth rate and increase inflation. So what's the advantage of tariffs?
From our standpoint, we have a hard time seeing the benefits of tariffs. They do tend to be inflationary in the short term. As you're pointing out, the longer term impact on economies is probably the greater downside.
What is going to be the consequence for U.S. markets? We are basically deep in the European earnings season. Take a look at how we're faring when it comes to Asian markets.
Bringing you up-to-the-minute global news whenever and wherever it happens. I'm Jumana Versace in Tehran, and this is Bloomberg.
Alright, so to be honest, this does look like it wants to come down. I'm going to add a little bit more to this. Stops are still above this high. Let's see what happens.
CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. An investigation into yesterday's deadly shooting at a Catholic school in Minneapolis has kicked into high gear. Correspondent Scott McFarland says it's focused on 23-year-old Robin Westman's possible motivation.
The police now shifting their investigation into the writings from what seems like the shooter's journal. That includes sketches of a church and rows of pews. Police say the shooter appears to have timed a YouTube video to post yesterday. It's under review by the FBI.
Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Fry zeroed in on gun control on CBS Mornings.
The shooter from yesterday had a whole heap ton of guns. Why? Why is it necessary that you should be able to buy not just one gun, but like a gun every single month?
An 8-year-old and a 10-year-old were killed in a school chapel, 17 other people injured, before police say Westman died by suicide in the parking lot.
That's crazy. You can buy a gun every other month in America. That is insane.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s just
An 8-year-old and a 10-year-old died.
has a lot of work to do.
CDC
That is crazy.
has problems. We saw the misinformation coming out of COVID. They got the testing wrong. They got the social distancing, the masks.
He refused to get into specifics. Breaking news from Washington, where Federal Reserve Board Governor Lisa Cook has just filed a lawsuit against the Trump administration.
Bryant says dishing out guns like it's fish. Rites says it's a crazy land. Like, it's insane. It's actually insane to think anyone over a certain age. What's the age? Is it 18 or is it 21 over there? Let me see. Let me search. Our age can you buy a gun in America?
With many damaged buildings. There were non-residential
18. So let me get this right. To drink, you have to be 21. I think to vote, you also have to be 21. But to buy a gun, you can be 18 years old. You can buy a long gun, such as a rifle or a shotgun. Hey, yo, we're talking maximum damage weapons here. A shotgun is maximum damage. And 21 years old to buy a handgun from a licensed dealer. However, federal laws allows unlicensed private sellers to sell handguns to someone who is 18. The federal law has no minimum age for possessing a long gun. A long gun. That's a tongue twister. So essentially, what this is kind of saying is you have to be over 18 to buy it legally, but to actually own one, you don't have to. You can be any age. Huh? So let's just say, for example, I go buy a gun and I give it out to, I hope me saying these words, it's not going to get flagged up by YouTube. but we're just having an educational conversation here. And I take this thing, right? And let's just say by accident, a younger sibling of mine or a younger nephew or niece takes that gun. And it's okay. I don't know, man. I feel like common sense is not very common in America, man. Let's just keep it 100 because that's ridiculous. Anyway, so we're still looking at this move. Guys, if you're on the live stream right now and you haven't dropped a like on the live, make sure you drop a like on the live. Helps with the YouTube algorithms. And if you are new, don't forget to subscribe as well. So we're currently looking at this short here. I think we'll probably come down, but to be honest, it is a little bit 50-50 right now. But like I said, I did add a little bit more, I think, when we're around here. So let's see. To be honest, this is not a bad area to go long from. But if we do sell off, I do see us taking out yesterday's daily low. Right, so if I go to the daily time frame and then we zoom in, like, I don't see a reason why we can't take out yesterday's low and then close potentially a doji candle, right? Once we close a doji candle, we can have the next day open, push up. I want us to take out the high at least by the end of the week, you know? I did say that I do think we are going to have a bullish candle this week. When did I say that? I think it was on Tuesday. Right? So let's just see. To be honest, I don't want to be selling in this market right now. This is not a seller's market, but we're just testing the waters. We're going to see the type of feedback we get from the markets.
Today there's some news coming out of Washington, D.C.
Okay, so for gold, if you guys want to scalp gold, there are scalping opportunities to go long. The dollar is printing lower. The 15-minute, the 30-minute looks pretty bearish as well. There are some continuation plays that you can, especially inside of here. Right. Especially here. Am I really all that interested in gold? No. I'll be honest with you. This period of time, this summer period, I just hate to trade in general. Just generally speaking. It's just not for me. LXO, who's that? Is that Leo? What's happening, bro? Long time no see. How you doing, my bro? You good?
All that said, we have the Nasdaq up 0.1%, 27 points. The Dow off about 0.1%, down 61 points. The S&P 500 little change, down about 3 points.
Look, if we look at 2021 August,
up 3 basis points. The yield on the 10
we had a little bit of a range, but there was a really big spike here. 2022 July, August. So August we were still, you know, we were trending, right? It was trending bearish, but that's August. That's summer. Summer this year. Oh, sorry, last year summer. Look at June, July, August. Still trending up. And then obviously we have this period of time. I just don't like summer, guys. I'll be honest with you. If you've been in this space long enough, you're going to grow to hate summers. Like Q3, Q4, amazing. Do you understand? Q3, Q4, in my opinion, is amazing. Q1 can sometimes be a bit of hit and miss, right? Because it is a new year, a lot of things are loading up. You know, markets are still undecisive of what it's going to do. And then Q2 gets a little bit better, especially with March. March gets a little bit better, you know. Usually we have like sort of like elections and whatnot around that period of time, so there tends to be volume in the markets. Oh, guys, we might have to get out of these shorts. Look at the NAS.
levels under the weight of very, very lofty
Hold on.
expectations. And
Now it's
that
straight
number
back
is
up there.
actually lower than some of the top end forecasts, right? And the data center
S&P.
41.1 billion, nothing to scoff at, absolutely, but still slightly below the average estimate. And of course, Lisa mentioned,
Because I want to leave you guys with a little something. What's happened today? Market open. Market open, yeah, bro. We just dropped. There was some conversations with Blackwell. They are a chip maker, right? There's talks of them being sold to China, which is insane because it is, you know, America based. And I think, you know, it would be a shame for a powerhouse like America to lose such key infrastructure, you know, like chips, they're everywhere, made for everything, you know. AI needs it, we need it for our phones, all sorts of technologies and machinery needs chips. So I think it would be a shame. So for NASDAQ, or the NAS, as Joe used to say, the NAS, let's see what happens inside this imbalance here. Right, so here's what I'm thinking for NAS. So we swept the low there. Right, so if we get a scenario where we push through the imbalance, we can look for a test and then go long. Or we can get a hold at the imbalance here and then drop lower. Those are the two options. Right, do I think this is going to come down more? I don't think so, because we're not in a seller's market. So right now, you know, if we are going with structure, it does make more sense to buy than it does to sell. This just looks like a really nice buy to me, I'll be honest. Especially on the NAS. The NAS looks a lot clearer than the S&P or US 30. You know what? I'm going to reduce this position. I'm going to reduce it. I'm going to leave a small position on just in case we don't hold, but I'm going to reduce it.
No, I was going to say, so you got to wonder whether this is a pause or this is an actual true turn.
We saw some Dollar General, some of the other off-price retailers doing pretty well. People are still spending, I guess. But
am I still trading gold? Yes, just not right now. So I guess the answer would be no then. If I'm still trading gold, as of recently, I have not looked at gold at all whatsoever. I had a swing trade for gold that I opened. What price was it? I had a buy somewhere. I just don't remember where it was. I had a buy one of these days. I think it was last week. I think I bought somewhere around here for gold, because I'm leaving gold for now. Let's touch September. You know, we're a couple of days out from the end of the month. There's 31 days in August. We can, you know, get into September and, you know, start to look at gold a little bit more. And if gold can, you know, take out some of these highs, then it's a lot easier for us.
So that means we have to talk to a lawyer. And
an in-house lawyer.
Yes, an in-house lawyer, and we happen to have those in Bloomberg Intelligence for just such an occasion. Elliot Stein joins us. He's a litigation analyst with Bloomberg Intelligence. So, Elliot, I guess the question is, okay, it's Lisa Cook. Can she still be a Fed governor and do stuff? Because don't trials and suits take a long time?
That is a huge question. That's the question clients are asking me right now. And I tell them she's sort of like Schrodinger's Federal Reserve Board governor, because if you ask President Trump, he would say she's not a governor right now. But if you ask her and her lawyer, they would say, yeah, she's still a governor because President Trump exceeded his authority in trying to fire her, and so it doesn't really have any effective value. But that is what a court has to decide. I think the trial court can actually decide that issue relatively quickly in terms of, you know, litigation timelines. Probably within a month or so.
I think we're gonna get a decision really soon.
Within a month or so, there's a September 17th.
Right, this is the price point. If we're either gonna push lower or we're gonna push higher.
Yeah, I mean,
and also, from looking at, you know, indices as of lately, we haven't really had a good move during the open. The moves have happened later on during the day. Like, especially yesterday, we just chopped and changed, chop. And then, you know, around the PM session, you know, 6, 7, 8, we rally up,
She's only one vote out of
right?
12 on the
If we look over here as well on Tuesday, we just chopped the whole morning session and then we rallied up 6, 7, 8, 9.
But in February, that's when the Federal Reserve
Look over
Board
here, we chopped
gets to
and then we
reappoint or
dropped
block the
6,
reappointment
7, 8, 9.
of the regional
So there's
reserve
definitely
bank
a slight
presidents
change
to
in the
rotate
kill
onto the
zone,
FOMC. So if she's not on the board in February,
in the kill zone
Trump has
times.
a much more favorable stack of governors on the Federal Reserve Board who could block the reappointment.
This does look
of
good to come
regional
down though.
bank
Every time I look at
regional
US
reserve
30, it
bank
looks good to
presidents,
just
and as a result, he
can
may
just drop off a
have,
little bit.
more sympathetic votes going forward after that.
Man, you can get cynical when you want to, right? You can go down that deep dark hole.
I'm not. It's not cynical. It's looking around the corner. Paul.
6, 7 bros did on purpose, lol.
Again, I guess it comes down to, does the president have cause here, and is that for a court to decide? Like, is that how?
Well, that's enough. There's so many interesting legal questions here. That is one of them. Let me sort of walk you through what I think the main questions will be. Number one, is the four-cause removal restriction even constitutional?
Yep.
That President Trump's going to argue that it's not. The Supreme Court indicated in May that for the Federal Reserve Board, it likely is fine. Assuming it's constitutional, what constitutes cause, right? There are other statutes that say it's inefficiency, neglect of duty, or some sort of malfeasance in office, which is also key because her mortgage applications were from 2021, right? Okay, so now let's say we know what cause means. Then we have to determine.
You know what?
Did her conduct?
I trade the NAS today.
Her conduct rise to that level of
I might trade the NAS today, guys.
Let's say
One click trading.
Then the question is, who even makes that determination? President Trump will say, "This is for me to decide, me, the president, not the courts."
The contract sizes on the Nasdaq is massive.
And then the last question is, okay, let's say she was removed improperly. What's the remedy? Does she get reinstated, or does she just get back pay, and forward pay for whatever she would have served out? So there's so many interesting questions.
Might trade the NAS today, The NAS's picture is a lot better than the Dow.
Gave us a hint in May that they value Fed independence, and so they will.
I don't like how we're just holding at this level. We're refusing to move, to be honest with you. Hopefully we can get a little bit of a movement by the half-hour mark.
That's a great question. Probably they don't say anything. But interestingly, I was just looking at the complaint. The other members of the Federal Reserve Board, I believe, are named as defendants as well. So it's not just President Trump.
Oh, interesting.
I think Powell and the rest of them and the board itself maybe as well. So I'm not sure exactly what the angle is there. Probably trying to, from Cook's perspective, reach a result where if there is a court ruling, the Federal Reserve Board and Powell have to abide by it and reinstate her.
Dow was just giving heavy sells, man. Literally, guys, every time I look at Dow, I'm thinking short. Every time I look at Dow, I'm thinking short. Short, short, short. Even though the higher time frame picture is telling me buy. But I literally just want to short this. Look, check Nas. Nas is dropping. I think with Nas, if we can, if this does end up being a short, then the first target is going to be this low here. Right. This timing is off. Yeah, these timings are off. Hold on. 2. Let's see. Let's see what the Nas wants to do, guys. Let's see for gold. Gold's pretty much already moved from earlier on. Right. Is there anything in here? I mean, you could force a trade, but I just can't be bothered with gold right now. I'll be honest. Can I trade gold? Yeah, definitely. But do I want to? No. Yeah, my experience is telling me just leave gold alone. Just leave gold alone for now. Okay, so if anyone's looking for a move, right, you could go short on the NAS, 5-minute setup, or you could go short on Dow. I'm short on both the Dow and the NAS. I just think NAS is just going to give a much better time, but I'm short on both. I think there's really good potential for either to play out. My only thing with the NAS is if we look at this little 1-minute candle here, this can be a block to give us a push. So what I'm going to do is once we tap my little alert, I'm going to move my stop to entry. And if I get hit, I'll break even, and so be it. Every time I look up on a higher time frame, this is just giving me buys. It's just giving me longs, longs, longs. NAS has still got a... Actually, let me show you. I keep looking at this other screen. But yeah, NAS has still got a long way to go to its all-time highs, you know. Still got quite a bit of space left. Yeah, NAS is just giving me straight buys, guys. You know what? And just move this stop to entry. Let the rest be history. Yeah, I'm gonna cover that position there on NAS. It's about to even take me out of the trade. And almost there. Is it gonna hold? And it's gone. Okay. So that's break even then. Let's see what your study is doing. I hate this chop. This chop is so annoying. Alright, if we don't get any movement in the next 9 minutes, I'll just have to update you guys via Discord. Because it looks like we might have a 6-7. You like that one? Yeah, Leo. Why don't you trade futures? Lucky I didn't press short on the 5-minute close. This is just diabolical market open. Yup, it really is, bro. Why don't I trade futures? That's a very good question. Do you know what it is? I need to find a good futures broker. So if anyone's got a link for a good futures broker and they want to earn some commissions off of my trades, let me know. I don't mind signing up under your link or whatever.
The Dow up down 0.1%, 70 points, and the S&P 500 little change, down about 2 points. In the yield space, we have the
yeah, because futures would be quite good, you know, because when it comes to futures, there's no slippage, there's no spread. Like if you enter a short at, you know, let's just say 1.021, that's exactly where you're going to get executed at 1.021, you know. There's no like discrepancy when it comes to that. Guys, I reckon you've kind of just got to choose which direction you're going to go. I think markets will come down, right? Especially looking at the lower time frames, but higher time frame does tell me it's a buy. Every time I look at US 30, I'm thinking so. So it's 50-50. Are there even any bad things on futures? I don't think so. I think futures is like a much better option, to be honest. Like I do know about futures and I have heard about futures. I haven't been bothered. You know, when you're stuck doing something, like a certain routine, it's difficult for you to get out of that old routine and get into something new. I just have what I'm comfortable with, and I just use that.
I guess the question for a lot of folks is it enough to kind of spur this market forward? So let's check in with somebody
But yeah, Ritesh, how you doing with your gold trade, man? Is it going well? Well, it should be going really, really well. You know, that's a really, really great move.
Smartest money managers in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I've held that for like 25 years.
There's something in the water there.
Something in the water. Could be the University of Wisconsin. I don't know, but there's a lot of smart money managers out there. Hey, Matt, thanks for joining us here. Let's just start with the stock of the day, which is NVIDIA. I thought the numbers were pretty darn good. It wasn't a classic beat and raise in the, I guess, in the NVIDIA.
Yeah, I'm out of the trade. Okay, cool.
Good. What was your take?
Yeah, I think what we're seeing this morning is just a little bit of churn in the stock, some bullish positioning, burning off a little bit. Because if you look at the numbers, I would agree with you, just in terms of what was announced last night and how the tone of the conference call went. You know, basically, if you add in some of the potential H20 revenue from China at the midpoint.
Okay, guys, this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna update you guys inside of Discord.
Upside versus guidance.
No, this is just not moving.
To me, I think.
And to be honest, I'm kind of hungry, so I'm gonna get something a little bit more substantial to eat. So yeah, thank you guys for joining me. It's good to see the old faces again. You know, Leo, Brian, and the rest of yous. But don't worry, just join the Discord if you're not. They want to keep overnight, but still 465 profit. Yeah, that's good, bro. That's really, really nice. Stack that. If you ain't bought some coins, go buy some coins, you know, even if it's $200. Leo said I would have some options for futures brokers, but I don't know if they're all 100% legit. Yeah, I can look through. I can research on them. I can ask some of my my connects as well and ask them if they know this broker, or, you know, I can. The thing about brokers, yeah, guys, they're all connected. They're all connected. Like, brokers will, let's just say, like a broker, let's say for example, like Vantage, right? They might have, let's say Vantage is their main branch, right? But then Vantage will have a subdivision called Axie, for example, right? Obviously, this is not, you know, related. I'm just giving you an example, right? Let's just say the owners of Vantage is called PM Global. It's just a random name, right? PM Global owns Vantage and then owns Axie. So what are they? They're sister companies, but essentially they're still brokers. Do you understand? They're under the same owners. They might offer slightly different items or products. Maybe one's got only 1 to 100 leverage, but then with Axie you can have 1 to 1,000 leverage. Or they might have different jurisdictions that they're registered under, but essentially they're all just the same thing, you know? You might have a Vantage UK and then have Vantage Global, like for example, right? And then Vantage Global is the one that's registered in like St. Vincent, blah blah blah. You know, it's a different, you know, let's just say workers that work for that broker, but it's essentially under the exact same umbrella. Essentially, what you need to be aware of is liquidity. Like, is the broker actually liquid? Does the broker actually have the liquidity to provide you with the withdrawals for all their clients? That's the most important thing, because at the end of the day, if clients are depositing and the brokers have liquidity, it doesn't matter. Like, they don't care. All they care about is making their money. All they care about is clients losing money on their B books, right? So that they make money. Obviously, if clients are winning money, winning trades on their B books, then that's costing them money. So then they'll just move them from the B book to the A book, right? But it's all essentially just the same thing. A lot of brokers have different subdivisions. They might call it something else, but it's still ran by the exact same people. Anyways, fellas, I'm gonna call it there. Money day. I'll see you guys later. Peace.